future.
Alright, what's up guys? So, something that's long overdue, and I really wish that my neighbor's dog would lay off of it. Plutonians like to be up late, typically. So, this is the defining what is plutonian, and this is some of my own collaboration as well as what I found in sources online and in any kind of dictionaries, I guess, that are only online primarily, and thesauruses, because this is kind of a, unless you look at more of a mythology or Greek kind of origin, plutonian's not a very vastly used term or word. So, definitions that I found are described as a dynamic character, language spoken by those from Pluto. So I would assume that that's some sort of metaphor for Plutonians or Scorpio archetypes. And it says, people of or from Pluto, relating to the god of Pluto. Mastery or a passion. So somebody who'd be, that's a nice way of like saying obsessive. And it says associated with the underworld, the infernal, or the lower world or abyss, or the unknown or deep within. So synonyms for Plutonian are black, bleak, cheerless, chill, cloudy, cold, comfortless, dark, darkening, depressing, desolate, dire, dismal, dreary, forlorn, funeral, it's not funeral, it's funerally, gloom, godforsaken, gray, lonely, lonesome, miserable, morbid, murky, saturine, solemn, somber, sullen, sunless. I resent that. I'm allergic to the sun. I can't help that. Wretched, dejected, low, inconsolable, melancholy, sad, woeful, dim, disheartening, distressful, upsetting, hopeless, pessimistic, mournful, sorrowful, grim, menacing, negative, oppressive, and threatening. That escalated quickly at the very end. So you can definitely see why a lot of people that are in the goth community are Plutonians. In fact, I used to, a lot of goths in the community do this whole elitism thing, like I'm gother than you. And I used to tell people, I'm like, unless you have a Scorpio Mercury, you're not really goth. But I say that kind of jokingly, kind of. But I've actually found that most people that I know that are really dedicated to the goth subculture actually do have some sort of Scorpio or Plutonian signature within their chart, so that's interesting. So then I looked up any similar words, and we had plutonium, which is a radioactive element used for power or weaponry, and then plutology, which I wasn't actually familiar with this. It's the study of wealth, and plutocracy. It's a state or a nation controlled by its wealth or a class of wealth. And that makes me think of corporatism, actually. And then it says plutocrat, a capitalist or a millionaire. And then plulatry, which is the worship of wealth or material wealth. And then a plutologist is an economist or a wealth specialist or somebody who studies plutology. And plutonic is an indigenous rock, lava magma, cooled, and specifically that's obsidian actually, because I found quite a bit of that in Nevada when I went on my trip to Vegas. And I actually have some, not only do I have some gemstone and rock mineral books, but I actually got this really cool thing. It's in Goldfield, Nevada, if you happen to ever be going down that highway. And I actually have a photo of it in my photo gallery on my Foos photography page. But it just looks like a little shack, and it says rocks, and you can go there and you can get this little, you have to go back like in his like little shack looking thing. It looks like it's not part of his store, but it is. And you can walk in there and he has little like note cards that tell you the origin of it, what it was used for, you know, how common it is. And he gives you a little piece for an example. I think that's the greatest thing ever. It's so much better than the books, because then I physically have a rock to compare to. I'm a visual person. So, and then it says, Plutonism, which is a study in geology for the Earth's surface formed by volcanoes. And so that is the origin of how Pluto is associated with volcanoes and with the crust of the Earth, too. So that is essentially what anything would be described as Plutonian. And obviously, besides the similar words, if you notice a lot of the adjectives used, that usually fits the criteria or the characteristics of somebody who's a Scorpio, or at least somebody with a Plutonian archetype or signature. So if you can think of anybody you know, or examples per se of maybe famous people that fit those characteristics, or if you know me, then you probably laughed. I kind of laughed when I first was making this list. Quite a few of those I'm like, hey, totally get it, yeah. So those should be describing not only the archetypes, but that would be describing their perspective as well. And that essentially would be a good description list of my approach to astrology. I definitely don't talk about the comforting things. I'm not very cheerful, I guess. A lot of things I can say can be depressing. I'm usually pretty dark about most things. And, kind of edging on this line of controversial death astrologer. I don't like to say I'm a death astrologer, but obviously I predict part of my readings usually involve death or some sort of negative thing. So that's the whole pessimistic negative thing. So, but I don't know if it's just like my Libra trying to combine with my Plutonian archetype, but I feel like there's just too much fucking sugar-coated bullshit in the world. And that people need a dose of reality every once in a while. And I think that people can kind of just tune out the negative stuff and be in denial way too much to where I'm necessary. And as this crazy Uranus-Pluto square energy continues to manifest, I had so much criticism, and it wasn't necessarily, somebody trying to discourage me, but from close friends or people I know, I had so much, criticism and discouragement. They said, I like you, I understand what you do, I respect what you do, but you're not going to make a living this way, and you're not going to attract clientele doing what you're doing. And, I tried my damnedest to curb some of the, I guess, Plutonic-esque sort of vibe to my readings. And I just realized that I ended up not even doing my own readings per se. I was second guessing what I was saying and having to reference other astrologers' interpretations in order to even feel like I was giving a thorough reading, because that's not what I see. Every astrologer has their niche because every individual has their own perspective. And you know what? One of the greatest pessimists I've ever heard of is one of the most infamous metaphysicians and astrologers known to man, Nostradamus. If Nostradamus can do it, god damn it, so can I. So, but yeah. Other than that, I figure I'm just gonna continue pressing on with transits. And, most of the feedback or contacts, emails I get is, I'm feeling like this is something horrible is about to happen. Can you kind of elaborate on it? That seems to be like my Dear Abby or Ask Abby column kind of thing. So if you feel like you're having one of those, breakdown moments and whatever, shit's gonna hit the fan for you, and you want me to look at it, or you want to ask me a question, feel free to tweet me or contact me on Facebook. Or if you want a thorough consultation, especially if you're having some sort of health or stress, mental issue, then you can email me at rayreinhartz@gmail.com. And all my info, again, is on my podcast profile, which is Spreakers.com/user/plutonian-astrology. Alright, thanks guys.